James. Hi, thank you for getting involved in this project. Would you like to tell us what form does your involvement with the visual or performing arts take, first of all?
So my specialist area is music and in sort of like songwriter performance, and also as like an event organizer and that kind of thing, really.
Right. So when did you first get involved with music then?
So I must have been about. I mean, obviously you get involved in music like from when you remember, can you? But I started in like primary school when I was like 9 or 10 years old. My would-be cornet teacher came and did a big sort of like test on like the year group in assembly, where we had to answer these questions to gauge whether or not we had good enough relative pitch or not to like give an instrument like that a go. And none of us really knew what it was, but anyway, I scored pretty well on that, and then I got offered like brass lessons. So
it started then, really.
Yeah.
So what kind of inspired you? And I'll roll these two questions into one, really. So who and what kind of inspired you? Who were your major influences? As you were getting into music.
Yeah, it changes all the time, but like as I was sort of like, so this was about 2003, but I really love people like Freddie Mercury and like Elvis Presley and Oasis. Just people like that, really, like kind of bodacious guys, really.
Elvis. Yeah. So, did you teach yourself to play? What instrument do you play then? Is it the guitar? Yeah.
Yeah. So like I play a bit of guitar, trumpet, and bass guitar, and in a studio setting, I can play a few chords on the keyboard and play like a few drum beats and that. I got brass lessons. I'm not even any good at it, to be honest. But like, I got brass lessons. But then I was able to teach myself all the other ones.
Through that
like I sort of learned music through being taught on one instrument, and then I could apply it to others.
Grounding.
But my style on guitar and stuff like that is pretty DIY. It's not like classically, you know what I mean? It's not very disciplined or out, but yeah, that was kind of it.
But so you play guitar in a band, but you mainly work on your own, don't you? Really, the band are.
James, Leonard, Hewitson.
Yeah.
So I'm songwriter mainly. Like I don't claim to be some sort of instrumentalist at all. Like I don't when I talk about myself, when I talk to someone about like how I am in music or what I do in music, I say I'm a songwriter. I don't say I'm Steve Vai on the guitar or someone. Do you know what I mean? Like I just it's just because I'm like a bit of an all-rounder and my main focus is like the songs, so I say songwriter.
So where do you normally perform? I will say this, but I know you've performed in Disgraceland, which was very really enjoyed.
So normally performing like Tees Valley and like the wider northeast, and then sometimes like we'll go on tour and play like in different places across the country.
Yeah, that's good fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why do you think that the creative arts are important to you and in general in society?
Well, I think for me personally, it's difficult to, especially like round here, like it's difficult to if you're not like a proper sort of being a lad in that, like if you're not like a proper footy lad and who fits in with all that kind of stereotype. Like I loved football, but I also like to have my hair long, and a lot of other kids really hated that. Like, they really didn't like the fact that I wanted to play football, but I had long hair, so like I was never really accepted into that like footy world fold kind of thing. But with the music, none of that was really, none of those like,
Stereotypes.
none of those stereotypes, and none of those like restrictive like
Yeah.
politics were like part of it. I could just get on with it, and I think that was like a really good feeling. Like no one was telling me like I couldn't or no, kind of thing. There's no footballs in music, is there? So like you don't have to work
That's like-minded people as well. Clocking together with like-minded people. Do you know what I mean? With your music and everything.
Yeah, and like doing like performances is really just, when I think about doing those first few performances that I ever did, it was you just know, it's like you just know that it's the best thing in the world. Like as soon as you do it, you know that you'll likely not discover anything quite as good as doing that.
Right.
Which I think that's. I just think like having that. I think just like I was really always into. I shouldn't have been watching them, but like I was really into like comics, like Rick Mayall and Rick and Ed and people like that really. As I was growing up, and I really liked the sort of especially Rick Mayall, in sort of like how sort of daft and like otherworldly he was in his performance, and like that was like another like like stuff like that just sort of made us excited to go and do it, because you could be someone else.
Yeah. Brilliant. Nice. Yeah. Great answer. So finally, James, so how's the lockdown affected your work, yourself, your creativity, your future plans? Have you got into a bit of a rut, or have you?
So obviously like the lockdown and that, it made me obviously lose whatever festival plans I had this year. I didn't have like loads of festivals booked or anything, but I won a competition to play at End of the Road. And that was going to be like a big deal for me, but it didn't happen. I mean, I've booked again next year.
It will, yeah.
Good. I just put an album out in like February, and like I just wanted to kind of like keep going, keep it rolling, like keep picking up gigs, playing gigs or whatever. But yeah, so that kind of all just stopped, which was a bit of a shame. But it's given me the time and thought to do other things, like go fruit picking, and you get a whole other load of experience from doing stuff like that. It was quite interesting.
Right.
I've knuckled down and I've got myself in a space, or like a creative space in town. It's my first one. I've never like moved all my stuff into a space in town, but I have now. And I just go there, and I've just been like writing.
Oh, great!
And my creativity was like.
Sounds of it.
Sorry.
Been very productive by the sounds of it.
Oh well, I try. My creativity at the start of lockdown was rubbish.
Right.
I feel like, I feel like everyone was the same. Like there was, it's lockdown. Oh, we've got nothing. Oh man, let's like create and do so. I think I joined about like 5 groups on the internet full of people. Like, yeah, we'll send each other stuff and collaborate and everything like that. And you do it. You join up, and you're, oh yeah, we'll do it. And then like a week goes by, and you've just like forgot about it. And I was like writing songs, like half songs, just because I thought, oh, like there's nothing else to do, so I have to do it. And it was rubbish. But now, the summer's gone on, and I've had a bit more experience, and I've got myself in this space. I'm actually like, I'm writing. I feel like I'm writing properly again now. So it's like,
Well done. Well, you're very, very welcome at Disgraceland when all this is over.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yes. We must get a gig sorted. But thank you very, very much for doing this. It's been brilliant. Absolutely great. And peace out.
Peace out. Thanks for having me.